Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's random stream. And we're going to be talking about Dominic Cummings or Goings. He's already gone. So, yeah. I watched this yesterday and it was long. It was a parliamentary committee quizzing Dominic Cummings about his time uh, as the advisor for Boris Johnson and the issues and everything that led up to him being removed from office, as well as all the fun things that were happening at 10 Downing Street during the pandemic. And wow, how much information can I all that information I was trying to process, and it was just crazy. It was proper mental. It was like, okay, I thought it was going to be, like a boring procedural thing that they were just going to, hit him over the knuckles with and just basically vilify him basically. But no, that did not happen. They were listening to him. They were even asking him, what could we have done better as a government? Like he knows. I don't know if he knows, but this guy, I think he's actually okay in my book in terms of um, you know representing himself well. And it was quite interesting to see. Normally people would bulk or like they'd mess up or whatever, but he was answering them back. Whatever questions they had, he was there. He knew what he needed to say. A few times I thought to myself, okay, so he can remember certain dates and he can remember certain actions and thoughts that were going through his head. But then at one point somebody mentioned that there was a well, he mentioned it, that there was a meeting of sorts with a few people, and he couldn't remember if one of the people in that meeting was actually in that meeting. And I thought to myself, well, that's a bit odd. But I guess if there's like a meeting and there's like 12 people in the meeting, you're not going to remember exactly everyone in there. Um, but yeah, so what did we learn? So the first thing that we learned was that Boris Johnson and his government uh, don't know what the hell they're doing. So they're just sitting there at 10 Downing Street, twiddling their thumbs. That's basically the impression I got. And the other thing was a lot of the um, pandemic stuff, they thought it would just blow over, which obviously you would think that anyway, but they had the data, or they had bits of data. Not even Sage, who are advising the government, they didn't know anything themselves, so they were making things up as they would go along, which is also very worrying. The PPE situation of not having enough and buying random shit from China, um, that wasn't adequate for the NHS, was obviously another element. So there's been, obviously we know that there's been issues here, there, and everywhere, and it's just one of those things where you try to cover all bases, and I don't blame the government for doing it, for getting PPE and wasting billions of pounds on it and what have you. Um, what I really am concerned with is the government would in talks with the likes of Google, Microsoft, Bill Gates on a separate level as well. And the interesting thing about the Bill Gates thing was that he was telling the government, or the UK government, should I say, to actually build everything together all at the same time. And Dominic thought, well, that's a bit silly because if one thing doesn't work, then you've just wasted a lot of money on it. But Bill seemed to think that, yeah, if you build it all, it doesn't really matter. Just as long as you covered the bases, it will all fall into place. So I need to go back onto that to figure out what that was actually about. Now, I do stress that I was listening to this yesterday, so I should have actually made a video on it yesterday. It would have been a lot more fresher in my mind. But then the other thing was Amazon approached the government to say, "Oh, what can we help with? We can help you with distribution, etc., etc." And yeah, they can. But where were all the other companies to say, "Oh, we can help you"? Why does it have to be the likes of Google, Amazon, Microsoft coming to us? That's a bit dodge, don't you think? Um, this NHS app was a GDPR nightmare about to happen, but it still happened. Um, but nothing's come from it. Other things that were discussed. So people were put into positions of responsibility, and they were told by Boris and the government that don't worry about lawyers or anything, we'll make them go away. So the rule of law was out as well. So I can understand it. It is basically, and he actually even said it himself. It is a wartime situation. We are in war with the pandemic, but war nonetheless. So yeah, you can have that kind of cowboy mentality, but I think there's a fine line between it. Um, yes, God, a lot of it was just funky. If you get a chance to watch it, please watch it. You'll find a lot of crazy information just by listening to this one guy talking. And he takes no prisoners. He hated the crap out of Matt Hancock. He wouldn't even call him Matt Hancock. He just called him Hancock all the way through. Uh, he did have some praises for a lot of other people. He had praises for the people that put systems in place, people who um, helped out with the pandemic, with the virus, and well, basically everything. Um, so with the vaccine, they actually had the vaccine at the beginning of January. Well, sorry, not at the beginning of January, but they had it in January 2020, and they said that they they made it up in a couple of hours, literally in a couple of hours. I can't believe it. But yeah, so obviously they've got to test it. 6 months to test it. So everybody should have, excuse me, been inoculated by when? By January, sorry, by July and August, people should have started to get inoculated, but no, that didn't happen. A lot of things didn't happen, and that's one of the key things that kept cropping up. This person was shit. This should have been done better. That should have been done better. And you think these are the people in power. These are the people that we say, oh, yeah, you know what you're talking about. We're going to vote for you. Should you be voting for these people? It seems like it's just like, okay, I've got into 10 Downing Street. All I'm going to do now is sit here and watch the money come in. Obviously, these people don't get paid like crazy money like the US president does. But even so, they've got like the world's eyes watching them. They've got the UK's eyes watching them. They have to be accountable. And I think this is the first part of the process to make people accountable. This guy, he's basically Dominic Cummings, has said that people were threatening his and his family's lives, and that's why he went over to Durham or wherever it was, and that was one of the things that he got basically pulled over for, to say, look, what the hell, man, everyone's in lockdown, you're going around willy-nilly. But he wasn't going around willy-nilly. But we don't know that for sure. If people are sending him death threats, we should have known that he's getting death threats. They should have been publicized so these people could get shafted, whoever gave him death threats. We don't like people like that. Nobody likes people like that. And it's just mental that nobody spoke out for him at that time. Apparently, Boris said that, yeah, don't worry, we'll sweep it under the carpet. Nothing should happen. Go and drop your kids off. Drop your wife and child off. Yeah. Oh, God. All right, guys. So what I want you to do, I want you to find that video. There is one available. I can't remember what the actually. Let me see if I can find it. And then if you can watch it and let me know what you think, that would be amazing. Where am I? Go to YouTube. Got to find it now. Where the hell is it? There's nothing. Here we go. I found it. All right, I'm gonna send this in the chat, and hopefully it's 7 hours long. Bloody hell. The hybrid meeting. Whoa. Okay, so copy that. Paste it there for you guys. Yeah, so once you've watched it, come back, tell me what you think, and let's start a discussion. So until next time, thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.